So because it's nearly Halloween, I thought I'd take you to a scary place. There are so many haunted castles and churches and places I could have potentially taken you, but I decided to go out on a limb and I thought I'd go for something a little bit different. So today I'm taking you to a place where there have been multiple sightings of the devil himself. So this is Crack Hill on the A48 between Cowbridge and Bridgend. The scariest thing about it at the moment is the amount of traffic on it. But there are stories attached to this place going back to the beginning of the 20th century, tail end of the 19th century, that put a chill in the bones of the people who lived in this area. Of course, back then, it didn't look quite like this. It looked rather more like this. This is a stretch of exactly the same road, only it's still very much in the state it was in when it was a turnpike. So what exactly happened here? Well, we've got two accounts by two different people who didn't know each other of disturbing goings-on Crack Hill. The first account comes from a man who'd been travelling from Bridgend to Cowbridge late at night. His journey as far as the base of Crack Hill had passed without incident, but as he began his ascent of the steep hill, he found his footsteps becoming unaccountably slow. He struggled on, finding it harder and harder to keep up any pace. He then became aware of a sensation, as if he was carrying a heavy weight. He looked sideways and found that something or someone had jumped on his back. In a blind panic, he tried to break into a run, but found the weight of his passenger was forcing him to his knees. He tried to shake him off, but could not. Gritting his teeth, his breath coming in painfully short bursts, he lumbered on. Near the top of the hill, he was so exhausted he found himself sinking to the ground in despair, at which point he cried out to God for help. The shape moved from his shoulder, rolled down the hill, and then it fell into a quarry at the base of the hill where it exploded into a mass of sparks and flames. Unconnected, on a totally different occasion, we've got the testimony of a man who was on a horse and dray, going up Crack Hill, once again travelling from Bridgend to Cowbridge. The same thing happened. The second incident, like the first, concerned a man travelling from Bridgend to Cowbridge at night, on this occasion on a horse-drawn trap. Again, nothing out of the ordinary happened on the trip as far as the base of Crack Hill, but halfway up the slope, the horse began to slow its pace until it was barely moving at all. Several times the trap lurched as the animal stumbled, and the man was sure he could make out a dark shape which must have been adding a huge weight to the shaft of the trap. He also felt a presence that he could not explain or describe, other than it filled him with fear and made him feel sick to his stomach. Near the top of the hill, the horse came to a full stop, behaving as if startled by something. Panic-stricken, its eyes glaring with fear, it stood rooted to the ground. The man called out to God for salvation, and immediately the strange object fell from the trap's shaft, twisted around on itself, and went shooting down the hill. At the bottom, once again, it too bounded into the quarry and exploded into a mass of flame and smoke, and the air was thick with the smell of sulphur. So what do these two incidents tell us? No one is altogether sure who or what these phenomena were. People dared to think that maybe it was old Nick himself, and if not him, then one of his henchmen. There is definitely something demonic about what was happening on Crack Hill.